This is the domain and range homework assignment from week 1. In this assignment, we're going to look at maps, tables, ordered pairs, and discrete graphs and determine domain and range. Remember, continuous graphs were not in this homework assignment. That is next week's homework assignment. Before I start, there are 3 things we want to remember about stating domain and range here. So I made up the acronym CORN. And what that stands for, the C, we want to make sure we are using curved brackets. O, we want to make sure that the order matters. We always want to go from smallest to biggest. R, do you have repeats? And if you do, you want to get rid of them. No repeats. It fixes up here. Should be curved brackets. So again, that is corn. C, make sure you're using curved brackets for these. O, make sure that you're putting them in order from smallest to biggest. R, are there repeats? And if so, N, get rid of them. No repeats. So let's start with our maps. Maps are pretty easy, so are tables. The numbers are already listed out for you and categorized. You just need to remember which one is which. And it goes alphabetical order, left to right. Left side is domain, right side is range. It's not enough just to label that though. We need to remember corn. Curved brackets. So our domain for this one, using those curved brackets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And those numbers are going from smallest to biggest. I don't have any number there twice, so I can move on to range. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. Do the same thing for B. Domain is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Range 3, 4, 5, 6. Like I said, normally when we have a map, the numbers are already in order, repeats are already gone. That's not always the case, so you always want to double check to make sure. But for these two, we didn't really have to do anything. Just remember those curved brackets. And that's how we do domain and range for a map. Let's go ahead and move into our tables now. Our first table is here. Just like with mapping diagrams, we want to have the domain on the left. That's our X value. Range is on the right. That is our Y value. So this is domain. This is range. Let's see. So looking at those numbers for my domain, they are already going from smallest to biggest. So I don't have to do much there. -12, -10, 0, 5, 8, 15. My Y's, on the other hand, are not. They look okay at first. 2, 10, then it jumps down to -2. So I'm going to look to see, where's my smallest number? That's going to be that -15. So I will put that first. And then it's the -11. Then -6. Then -2. Then the 2 and the 10. So this would be my domain and range for 2A. Moving down to 2B. Now I can already see none of these are really in order. Domain on the left with the X's, range on the right with the Y's. Smallest number is -20, then -17, then -6. You might notice here that there's 2 9s. We already did our negative numbers. I do not want repeats. So even though there are 2 9s, I am only going to put them in once. So that is going to be my domain for this table. My range, start with -18. That's the only negative number there. And then it just grows from there. -18, 0, 1, 16, 17, 19. Smallest to biggest, no repeats. Let's go ahead and scroll on down. Hopefully we're getting used to this. So with C, my numbers are a little bit out of order. -15, then it should be -14, then -11, -9, -5, -1. My range, I only have 18s. So I'm going to put the 18 there, and then that is it. I will not put 18, 18, 18, 18, 18. It's redundant. Just put it once and move on. Okay. That's it for tables. Let's move to ordered pairs. Starting with A. So first for our domain, that's those first numbers. 1, -2, -1, 1. We still want to go from smallest to biggest. So -2 goes first, and then -1. And we still don't want to do repeats. So we're only going to put 1 once. And now range is those second numbers. So that's going to be -2, 0, 2, 3. And then we just do that for each set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was already in order. There were no repeats, so I can just write it out as it is. For range, we have 1, 2, 5, 10, 15. Again, already in order with no repeats. Last one in this section. -2, 0, 5, -2. It was almost in order, and then it went back in the end, but it doesn't matter because the last -2 was a repeat, so we don't even have to worry about it. And then for range, -1, 3, 4, 3. Again, it backtracked a little in the end, but it was just a repeat, so no need to worry. This 3 we don't need because we already have a 3. Just like this -2 was not needed, we already had a -2. So that's the domain and range for section 3, ordered pairs. Now let's move into our last section, discrete graphs. So let's start with A. Discrete graphs are a little bit different. If you struggle with graphs, what might help is to write out what the coordinates are, and then just do it like you would a table or an ordered pair. But if you feel comfortable with graphs, for a domain, what we're going to do is move from the left to the right, checking each line for dots. There's nothing here at -6. nothing at -5, nothing at -4, again, nothing at -3. Now at -2, we have a dot here at the top and a dot here at the bottom. We don't have to list it twice, but that's going to be the first number in our domain. Then we'll keep going. Nothing here, nothing here. Look, another dot at 1. Then there's 1 at 2. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Last one over here at 6. When we do range, we're going to switch now to horizontal lines. So starting at the bottom. There's no dots. I just hit one now at -5. I want you to notice throughout this whole activity, I have been using these curly brackets. We learn later about parentheses and square brackets. That's for a different type of graph. For all of the things from this homework assignment, curly brackets. Keep moving up, -4, -3, -2. Finally, we found our next dot at -1. 0, 1, 2, and 3. So this would be the domain and range for this graph. Let's move into our final question now. Again, for domain, I'm going to draw vertical lines. I have a dot at -4, -3, -2, 0, 2, and then also at right there at 3. So that is my domain. -4, -3, -2, 0, 2, 3. And we can also do the scanning like we did last time and just move down until you hit a dot. -4, -3, -2, nothing at -1, 0, nothing at +1, 1 at 2, 1 at 3. Now for range, to finish up, we do our horizontal line, scan upwards. -5 has a dot. Nothing, nothing. There's one at -2. Nothing. A dot at 0. Some at 1. And then I'm going to call that 2. You can also say that's about 1.9. Hard to say with how big these dots are. So that's my domain and range for this graph. Just like the entire worksheet, make sure my numbers are always going from smallest to biggest. Make sure I do not have any repeats. That is it for the domain and range homework. Next week, I will post the homework assignments, continuous graphs, domain and range, part 1 and part 2.